Hi, you're listening to Phil DeBella, and this is FlashCast by PDB. And today I'm going to explore the actual words of be the change that you want to see in the world. You hear me say it many times, over 120, 130 FlashCast episodes now, and you'll hear me say them in at least 70 or 80% of them. Be the change you want to see in the world. Now, I wish I was as wise to come up those words, but as I've said before, they're certainly not my words, but they are a mantra I aspire to and live to as best as I can. They are the famous words of Mahatma Gandhi. And a lot of people say, well, how did this come about? You know, what inspired Gandhi to change the world? What was it? Well, it dates back to the 1920s. That was the first time, his non-cooperation movement started in the 20s, and it called for Indians to boycott British goods and traditions and become self-reliant. And that's from the research that I've brought up so that I didn't get it wrong. Gandhi's non-cooperation movement kicked off in the early 1920s, and it called for Indians to boycott British goods and traditions and become self-reliant. His most famous protest was in 1930 when Gandhi led thousands of Indians on a 250-mile march to a coastal town to produce salt on which the British had a monopoly. Now, since then, the words have become famous. Many people use them. I've used them often, and I encourage other people to use them. You know, what did he actually, mean by this? Well, we're going to explore that in the next, 8 to 10 minutes. And what does he actually mean by be the change, you want to see in the world? And to me, what it is by being the change, you actually become an example of how somebody can be a new person. The part of the new world is what you're trying to create. So to me, being the change is you become the example. New person you speak of and part of the new world you're trying to create. People often say, well, how can we be the best that we can be? Well, the best that we can be is by actually being part of the change. And this is something that I talk about often, is that, we're very, very quick to sit on the sidelines and commentate. We're very quick to be telling people what we believe we can and can't do. But yet, how do we lead by example? How do we actually become the change that we want to see? How do we actually be the people that, that lead and say, we're going to stand up and show that we can lead by example? It is about us becoming the change first so that others will follow. And that's, I suppose, why a lot of people talk about hypocrisy, is that people spruce change. They call for different movements in the world, and then they're not leading by example. So, we see people that talk about becoming, sustainable, we must recycle, but they're the first people that are not taking the small steps that it takes that one can easily to recycle, such as, taking your plastic bags back to Coles and Woolworths or supermarkets, IGA, and reusing them rather than buying new ones all the time because we become lazy. Or better still, using canvas bags, Hessian bags, bags made of hemp. You can go as far as you want. Great supermarkets, great, especially private ones, private fruitiers and bottle shops now starting to use the boxes that their goods are delivered in. They keep them at the front and you grab a box and you use it. I think it's a great idea. A lot of fruit shops do that. What a fantastic way to recycle. We do that as much as possible. And it's part of being the change. And if we all make that little step, then we go far. But this is something that I adopt. We must become the change we want to see in the world in personal, professional, and family. If I want my kids to grow up and be good humans, I need to lead by example. If I want them to recycle, I need to show them that I'm prepared to recycle. If I want them to, be responsible and accountable for their actions, I've got to be responsible and accountable for my actions. In business, it's no different. Whether we're leading a team, we're part of a team, we need to become the change we want to see. If we want to see safety in the workplace, we must practice safety. If we want to see inclusiveness, we want to see great culture, then we need to become part of that change. We need to live, breed, be the culture so that we are leading by examples. We are being the change that we want to see. And I trust that how I found it work for me is that every time that I actually make an effort to become the change I want to see, then this creates leadership because it creates fellowship. People will follow those that are working on constantly becoming the change they want to see. And they certainly won't be labelled as fence sitters. They won't be labelled as commentators. And worst of all, they won't be labelled as hypocrites if they're actually getting in amongst and being part of the change they want to see. What I want to discover and discuss with you guys is that really understand that it's people that cause change. Now think about that. It's people that drive change. It's people that create change. institutions, organizations can't change. It's the people that actually have to instigate and execute the change. So 4 things that I want to discuss on ways that one can be part of the change they want to see and understand that it's people that create and execute change is the following. Number 1 is be sure to contribute. In what way can you contribute to society? Whether we're talking personal, professional, or family. How can you contribute by using your individual skill? What is it that you can actually do that will help things to change? And again, that's personal, professional, or family. So make a list of all the things that you can contribute. How can you contribute through your individual skill? And we all have individual skills. We have different types of skills to others. And that's what, when everyone comes together with that same mindset, with the intention to contribute, then magic is created. But it's got to be that intention of contribution. So what is it that you are going to contribute to the thing that you want to change? And that will then identify how you can be part of the change that you want to see in the world. You need to be able to identify what the issue is that you actually care about it, and you need to pursue it. And the way to pursue it is by contribution. And again, this will make sure that you're not sitting there as a commentator. The next one is improve. Now, instead of waiting, for change to come, let us be the change we want to see in the world is by you taking ownership to improve. And I talk about this when I say better today than yesterday, better tomorrow than today. Sitting there and blaming, political leaders, blaming co-workers, blaming family members doesn't work. Improvement starts with you. You need to have the intention to improve. So it's first the intention to contribute. Second, the intention to improve one's self. How are you going to improve yourself personally, professionally, and family so that you can actually generate and lead change? 3 is to appreciate. And this comes about pausing, reflecting, and being grateful. So you need to be able to pause, reflect, and be grateful. Not just the achievements, not just the successes, but also sit there and analyze what's gone wrong. What are the mishaps? What are we going to learn from them? Because often we get better learnings out of things that actually go wrong. But we need to appreciate, and we need to have this mindset of gratefulness. We have to have a positive and growth mindset, not a negative and fixed mindset. And that starts by appreciation. So you need to set an intention to appreciate. I like to do it 5 minutes before I go to bed, 5 minutes when I wake up, so that I'm starting and finishing my day with this gratitude of appreciation. And it's not all about the positive. It's often about what could I have done better? How do I need to improve? What could have been done differently to get a better outcome? It's appreciating both the positive and the negative so that you're living in that moment so that you can use yesterday or today to be better tomorrow. The last one, 4, is to explore. And this one is all about bravery. This is all about being brave, setting an intention that you will explore, that you won't be constant, that you won't get complacent, that you won't be stagnant. You're always moving forward. You're always going to adopt this intention of exploring. So therefore, you're going to be brave to step out of your comfort zone. If you really want to be part of the change you want to see in the world, you need to be brave. You need to be prepared to explore, to step outside your comfort zone and do things that, sometimes might be ridiculed, might be judged. It doesn't matter. Set that intention of exploration, and that is all contributing to being part of the change that you want to see in the world. So to recap, four tips that will help you starts with all about the intention to contribute, the intention to improve, the intention to appreciate, and the intention to explore. And if you do these 4 things and practice these 4 things, use a pen and paper, as I often talk about, and write down how you can get better, then you will be part of the change that you want to see in the world. You've been listening to Phil DiBella. This is FlashCast by PDB. And until next time, go and be the best you can be. And remember, go and be part of the change that you want to see in the world.